Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Let's Play StarCraft Remastered. This is our second episode, and we're starting with Terran Mission 4, the Jacob's Installation.
Your tenure as Colonial Magistrate is suspended, pending an official investigation of your affiliation with the Sons of Korhal. Receiving incoming transmission.
Hey man, Arcturus' boys sprung me from the prison ship. Apparently they're as frustrated with the Confederates as we are. I know their reputation, but they seem to be on the level. I think Arcturus wanted to speak with you.
Commander, Mars-Sara is almost completely overrun by the Zerg. The Confederates are abandoning the planet, and so are we. However, there is one thing I'd like to do before we leave. I want you to raid this colony's Confederate outpost and retrieve whatever design or weapons schematics that you can find in their networks. With the chaos of the Confederates' evacuation, you shouldn't have any trouble getting in or out of their installation.
I'm into it.
One thing I find kind of weird about the briefings is there's still those little lines in their larger portraits.
Anytime you're ready.
I thought they would have fixed that and made them cleaner, but I guess they kept it around for nostalgia's sake.
Sounds fun. Right on. Sounds fun.
So this is our first installation mission. There's, I think, one per set of 10 levels in the original campaign, and there's one in Brood War?
Should be good.
Yeah, there's one in Brood War.
This should be good.
So this is a fairly easy installation map. You don't really have to pay too much attention to anything in order to beat this one.
Right on.
The biggest bait here is that they give you Stim Pack, which is,
Sounds fun.
you don't want to use it until you're in the final room, if at all.
Good. Oh yeah. Sounds fun. Come on. Go, go,
Let's
go.
pull him back, kill those guys.
Go, go, go. Rock and roll. Outstanding. This is Jimmy.
Now, I thought this was really, really cool because I'd never seen anything like it when I first played the game.
Fired up. This is Jimmy.
The first thing that actually blew my mind about the game, my 10-year-old mind, was that Zerg and Terran were actually different. Because when my RTS experience was WarCraft 1 and WarCraft 2, and in those games, the races are pretty much the same, except the units are renamed and have a different skin.
Sounds fun.
That's really the only actual difference.
Sounds fun. Right on. This should be good. Sounds fun.
You know, like, there's no difference between a Grunt and a Footman,
Right on.
and there's a huge difference between a Marine, a Zealot, and a Zergling.
Oh yeah.
And it took me all the way until, I think, the third mission of this campaign before I actually comprehended that they were different things.
Fun. Oh yeah.
You rebel scum.
Sounds fun. Right on. Sounds
Speaking of Zerg, what are they doing here?
fun. Right on. Zerg. I don't believe this.
Believe it. I saw Zerg and Confederate holding hands myself, and that was over a year ago. It's clear the Confederates have known of these creatures for some time. For all we know, they could be breeding the things. Be that as it may, our priority here is accessing the Confederate network. We'll deal with the Zerg another day.
This should be good. Oh yeah.
You know, one thing that I find kind of sad, it's that it feels kind of like the RTS music peaked in 1998 because of Terran. I've yet to find a RTS soundtrack better than the Terran music from StarCraft 1. Not even StarCraft 2's Terran themes compare to the StarCraft 1 ones. They're just so exciting and vibrant and just fun to listen to. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this soundtrack, and I still enjoy it each and every time.
Sounds fun. Right on. This should be good. Oh yeah. Sounds fun.
That's partly why I'm really excited about the remaster, is
Sounds fun.
it keeps Brood War the way it is, but it modernizes it and removes some of the things that were genuinely annoying about the game. as opposed to actual bugs which are features, because most of the bugs in this game have turned out to become features, which is pretty neat, I'd say.
This should be good. Oh yeah.
I wonder if they actually fixed the floating Templar, though.
Oh yeah.
Because there are a couple bugs which ended up not becoming part of the game.
Oh yeah. Right on.
For example, one really notable bug is
Sounds fun.
the Mutalisk stacking. If you have one Overlord and a control group of Mutalisks, then
Right on.
you can let the Mutalisks stack up as you move them. And the perfect stack of Mutalisk basically lets you control them as if they were one unit, except there's 11 right on top of each other,
Oh yeah.
rather than automatically spreading out. And that is
Unauthorized entry detected.
that's technically a bug with the game, but it's a good bug that they kept in.
Sounds fun. Fire it up.
No, not that fire bat. No, no.
Anytime you're ready.
Oh, trying to micro, but the Marines get in the way.
Oh yeah. This should be good.
But that's a standard, thing you can do in pro play,
Oh yeah.
is just microing the Mutalisks that way, and if they fixed all the bugs, then you couldn't do that anymore. But there is one bug, as far as I know, that lets you float High Templars over water, and that's banned in professional play for obvious reasons.
Should be good.
Oh boy, it's a ghost.
This is Jimmy.
So, being able to... fixing that, I think, wouldn't really be too harmful to the game. But as far as I know, the only real bug that they fixed was something involving Dragoon AI, which causes them to just stop moving for whatever reason.
This should be good. Sounds fun. Right on.
May as well clear out this room for shits and giggles.
Right on. Sounds fun. Right on. This should be good.
See, this map basically introduces you to the no base mission. I mean, the no base mission has been a thing since WarCraft 1, with the Dead Mines levels and a couple maps where you just don't have a base at all, and it's a normal map. But the installation theme is kind of new to StarCraft,
Anytime you're ready.
although the concept is old. But this is easy because you saw I basically just attack moved my way to victory and didn't have to try.
Oh yeah.
So let's finish the map. It kind of helps that we have 3-3 on our guys and they have 0-0.
Hey, we found the plans, man. Have the transports waiting when we come out.
Since this is so short, I'll play the next map too. In this episode. Because it would be kind of a crummy episode to be 5 minutes long. I really liked how they added these type of stills to the remaster, and it kind of sucks that they didn't bother redoing the cinematics, because the cinematics they're kind of neat, but they age. They really aged poorly. And considering what Blizzard's capable of doing now versus what the cinematics looked like back then, it really creates a sort of visual dissonance between what the old stuff from 98 and the remastered stuff from 2017. I guess this doesn't auto-scroll. I like how we see Kerrigan in this still before we actually meet Kerrigan. Why can't carriers actually do this in-game? I always thought carriers were kind of lame when I started playing, because I thought, oh, this is an amazing battleship, but it doesn't actually have an attack. You have to build interceptors, which cost money, and the interceptors do their attacking. Obviously, carriers are really, really powerful, especially against Terran in competitive play, but it just felt underwhelming, considering we had the battlecruiser.
Hey, man. Headquarters has begun analysis of the discs. They expect to have them decoded shortly. I hope whatever's on those discs is worth it.
Receiving incoming transmission from Arcturus Minsk.
You and Captain Rayner have done well, Commander. I believe our efforts have weakened the Confederacy's grip on the fringe worlds. But our job out here isn't done yet. Lieutenant Kerrigan, my second in command, will elaborate.
I'll get straight to the point. Our sources tell us that Antigua Prime is ready to begin open revolt against the Confederacy. Unfortunately, the Confederates seem to be aware of this as well. They've stationed a large detachment of Alpha Squadron troops there, under the command of General Duke.
It will be your job, Commander, to free this colony and show our good intent to the Antiguan people. Lieutenant Kerrigan will help you deal with Duke's officers. The rest of the Confederates are yours to deal with.
This is Jimmy. Sounds fun. Oh yeah.
Let's just start off by rescuing Kerrigan.
Right on.
Rescuing.
Captain Raynor, I finished scouting out the area and... You pig!
What? I haven't even said anything to you yet.
Yeah, but you were thinking it.
Oh, yeah. You're a telepath. Look, let's just get on with this, okay?
Right. I'm ready. It'd be a pleasure.
Oh, they give you a map revealer there.
Go ahead, Commander.
I hate these things. They can sense me even when I'm cloaked. We should take these out.
I just realized they, the Marine stimmed and that allowed Raynor to one-shot him.
It'd be a pleasure. What now?
Yeah, see? Another tutorial thing, like, this is what a detector does. I actually kind of like that, you know, the whole learn by doing type thing.
Right on.
What now?
It's much better than a really boring tutorial, because it's kind of interactive and it advances the story. And it keeps the first few maps extremely easy just to teach people how to play StarCraft.
It'd be a pleasure. I gotcha. It'd be a pleasure.
Looking back, it was, like, at my
Thinking the same
little
thing.
anecdote from the previous mission, it was probably kind of bizarre for me to think that, oh, this is exactly like WarCraft in space, even though it's built on the same engine as WarCraft.
I read ya.
Alright, let's just brute force this bunker down. Use Raynor to tank, because we can fix him.
Your forces are under attack.
Yeah, it's only one Marine.
Lieutenant Kerrigan reporting.
Oh yeah, I need to kill this turret first.
I'm waiting on you.
But I think part of that was because the Terran army is kind of like a high-tech version of the Orc or human armies from WarCraft, at least at first glance.
Thinking the same thing.
I don't know if that makes sense.
I've taken care of business on this end, Commander. I think the Antigans are ready to back us up, too.
That's right. We've tolerated these Confederate goons long enough.
Base is under attack.
Give me something to shoot.
Well, time to do my traditional move the command center, which is what you have to do at the start of pretty well every mission. Optimal, you know, town hall placement, what is that? It's a foreign concept.
Commander, I'm picking up a large Confederate strike force advancing on our position.
Well, they're not wasting any time.
I don't know if that's a good spot for those factories or not, but we'll see.
Go ahead, Commander.
We shall see.
Anytime you're ready.
So that front is good. So what we're gonna do is lay some spider mines up here, because I know the Confederates like to drop. We can just use this little area here as our rally area, or rally point. So I may as well put all the factories there. Let's see, is it Control F1 to center on there? Or Control F2? I'm trying to remember the hotkey to hotkey areas of your screen. No, it's not. I'll have to review that. Because I know in Brood War you really want to hotkey screens. The reason why you want to do that is if you have all your production facilities in the same little area, and it's bound to, I don't know, F1 or F2, you can just hit F1 or F2 and go there and quickly, you know, click on all your buildings one at a time and then hit your hotkey to build units. Let's see. Is that good for placement here? I suppose I can put it here. Just build the one machine shop. You don't need more than one machine shop, because you can't get siege tanks or anything. You just need the machine shop to research the vulture upgrades.
Additional supply depots
Ho-ho! And we're supply blocked. Right out of the gate.
Orders, Captain? SCV good to go, sir.
That's embarrassing.
Go ahead, Commander.
Alright, let's fix Jim real fast here.
add-on complete.
Let's see. Let's get vulture speed.
Additional supply depots required.
And just build more supply depots. This mission I always took a really, really long time to beat. But anyway, going back to, again, what I was saying earlier about the similarities between the races, I mean, just hear me out for a second. This command center, it's kind of like a town hall. These are kind of like your peasants, you know, they can build stuff, they can repair stuff, which is exactly what workers in WarCraft 2 could do and WarCraft 1 could do. And the supply depots are just large, rectangular buildings, you know, like farms. They provide food, they don't do anything else. Your barracks trains your footmen here. You kind of see where I'm going with this? And you even have the three-tiered technology, kind of. You know, you've got the barracks tech, factory tech, and starport tech, even though there's no town hall, keep and castle going on.
Not enough minerals.
Orders, Captain? Reporting for duty.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
But then the Zerg completely threw me for a loop, right? Like, I didn't realize their overlords were like their farms. They fly and they detect, which is... It's just neat to see that much diversity. The other strategy game I grew up with was Command and Conquer, and Command and Conquer did have differences in the races, but they were still fairly similar. It was more diverse than WarCraft. That's the one thing I didn't like about WarCraft 2, is the races were just not diverse at all. It's the same, except their upgraded versions of knights are different, and they have different casters.
Research complete.
And that's really about it.
What do you want? No problem.
May as well lay some more mines up here. Keep building SCVs. I'll be fine on supply depots for a little bit longer before I have to build a couple more.
No problem. All right, bring it on. Good to go, sir.
Spider mines are so much fun. You never realize how much you miss the vulture until you play StarCraft 2 enough, and you realize, oh, we don't have vultures.
Yeah, I dig.
I mean, StarCraft 2 had a lot of cool elements to it, but
Is
it...
that it?
I guess everyone really just wanted a remake of Brood War
Yeah, I'm going.
instead of StarCraft 2, and at first, perhaps some people didn't realize that, because I was really hyped for StarCraft 2 when it was coming out.
I'm going.
And I remember playing the beta, and it was insane. Definitely need a control tower. One way to win this mission is to actually just build a ton of wraiths, but it really sucks and it takes forever to do.
Roger that.
Oh look, we're supply blocked.
All right, bring it on.
How terrible.
Yeah,
That is not how you want to play this game.
I dig.
I would not recommend getting supply blocked.
No problem. Yeah, I'm going. I dig. Checked up and good to go. Yeah. I dig. Job finished. No problem.
All these fire bats.
Dig. Reporting in.
Probably don't want to have the Wraith out there.
Yeah, I'm going. I dig.
So I think this might be one of their staging areas, right around here.
Is that it? No problem.
Don't have the mines in too much of a cluster. That's a bit much of a cluster for me. I'm still getting used to the hotkeys, because partly because I've rebound them, as I said last episode. I find it valuable to definitely rebind your hotkeys.
Roger that. Right away, sir.
And part of it's just getting the muscle memory,
You want a piece of me,
you know,
boy?
redeveloping that muscle memory to get used to the hotkeys again.
Supply depots required.
All right, bring it on. Oh, is that it? Yeah, I'm going. I dig.
Oh, I've got more spider mines.
No problem.
Come on, lay the mines. There you go.
Oh, is that it? I read you, sir.
There we go.
Standing by. Let's move.
Should probably actually set the rally point down here and start building some dropships.
Additional supply
As soon as the game
depots
lets me.
required.
Oh, what? Oh, I think I spent the minerals too early.
Yes, sir. I read you.
Let's just be a complete noob and build like 60 supply depots
Right away.
to unblock ourselves here.
Affirmative.
Gotta remember to keep rallying my my SCVs afterward. I keep waypointing my SCVs afterward. I'm probably going to call it Rally until I hit Protoss 10, like the final map of the game. I'll finally get it right, and then the campaign will be over. Calling it right now.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
At least we're still spending our money decently. That's the important thing.
All right, bring it on.
Always spend your money properly.
I read you, sir. Boy. I dig. Yeah, I'm going.
I'm not too sure how valuable vultures will be on this map. I know that their base has spider mines in it,
Dig.
and vultures do not trigger spider mines.
Order. You want a piece of me, boy? Yeah, I'm going.
So one thing I'm debating is keeping my keeping some of my vultures with
sir.
a spider mine payload. I really feel I don't know, I'm tempted to get a second port, but it feels like such a waste because I'm not going to be building wraiths. I could build a couple, maybe. I purposely didn't waypoint him because I want to use this guy to build depots,
All right.
since our production's actually kicking in now. Yeah, see, there we go. Completely out of minerals. This upgrade's about to finish. Machine shop looks good.
Yeah, I'm going.
Your forces are under attack.
Job finished. All right, bring it on.
I don't know about you, but I really enjoy stopping attacks for free.
Yeah, I'm going.
Upgrade
Can I take
complete.
your order? Is that it? Yeah, I'm going. I dig. Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, kiting doesn't work too well against
Dig. What do you want?
against Marines.
Yeah? Input coordinates. Yes, sir?
That sounded like another few units getting victimized by the spider mines.
Orders, Captain? Roger that.
I could build another racks.
You want a piece of me, boy?
May as well. Need to keep up those
Not enough
depots.
minerals.
Oh, come on. That's one annoying thing, is you don't actually spend the money on a structure until they plant it down.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
I don't really need too much gas anymore. I could probably pull some SCVs out of gas here, just keep one on it.
Orders, Captain?
Since I don't feel like making any more SCVs.
You want a piece of me, boy?
I mean, yeah, I could expand here, but there really isn't any need to. Just gotta keep pumping out dropships until I have a full complement.
I read you, sir. Yeah? No problem. Yeah, I'm going. No problem.
I need to declutter this area, seriously.
Something on your mind?
I don't know if they land here. They may only,
Is that it? Job finished.
they may only send, wraiths this way. I forget.
Something on your mind? Yeah, I'm going.
But either way, if they do land, we're set.
Is that it?
We're all set up. Wow, it's like my fingers don't remember where to go on the keyboard.
Not enough minerals.
That's somewhat unsettling.
You want a piece of me, boy?
Additional supply depots required.
It's so easy to just sit here and macro. It's
Additional
kind of
supply
relaxing in
depots
some ways.
required.
What do you want?
Alright, so... these guys are all good to go.
No problem. Go ahead.
Additional supply depots required.
Buckle up.
Job finished.
I'm listening.
Jacked up and good to go.
Destination?
Give me some of this shit.
Go ahead, HQ.
Probably just gonna get as many dropships as I feel like, and then storm them.
Destination? Input
I may want a
coordinates.
couple raids actually for cover fire. Yeah, see, look at that. Oh dear. Spoiler alert, Jim Raynor's Vulture is stronger.
Can I take your
Additional
order?
supply depots required.
Martin for duty.
Alright, alright.
Right away, sir.
Need to keep building more depots. I'm so terrible at hitting my depots. When I was actually playing StarCraft 2 a decent amount, a long time ago, the one thing I focused on as Terran was just hitting your depots, hitting your SCVs. And
Additional
I would
supply
actually
depots
win quite a few
required.
games just by doing that.
Upgrade complete.
I have time to move these,
Job finished.
I think. May as well build a solid line of barracks here. Yep. There we go. Just get a little bit more room here. I could build a 4th barracks if I really wanted. I don't need too many wraiths, I'll probably just get, well, queuing them like a noob, but
I read you.
should probably not do that. Should probably build more marines.
You want a piece of me, boy?
You don't want to have extra units in your production site, or,
I copy that.
Launch order.
in your production queue.
Hang on, we're in for some chops. Input coordinates.
All my dropships are full.
Deployed.
Oh dear. I kind of wish I'd built a second starport now, but I don't know if I have the economy to support 3 barracks and 2 starports continuously pumping units off one base. Even though it's one large base. Now, one interesting difference between StarCraft 1 and StarCraft 2 is the size of the supply depots and that you can't raise and lower them, so they take up a ton of real estate, so, base management, or space management is actually part of playing the Terran. Like, that's a very crucial skill. Base layout is also a factor in in playing Protoss, but not as much. If you don't want to worry about base layout too much, play Zerg.
Yes, sir. Orders received.
Zerg have struggles of their own, but at least you don't have to worry about, oh, does this block that? Because you don't need very many structures as Zerg.
Can I take your order?
When it comes to base layout for Zerg, it's primarily fenced around creating walls and that with your Sunkens and all that.
Give me something to shoot.
You know, to block, like, to do stuff like block Vulture run-bys.
Destination?
Give me something to shoot.
Go ahead,
Piece of me, boy. Yes, sir. I read you.
Not enough minerals.
Right, take your order.
Not enough minerals.
Go ahead, Commander.
I wish units would step aside. This is probably going to be extreme overkill,
Not enough minerals.
isn't it? I may have went slightly overboard,
Destination? Go ahead, HQ. Go ahead, HQ.
but it just feels like I'm never done.
Chop. Buckle up.
So I've got 9 dropships.
Want a piece of me, boy? You want a piece of me, boy?
I think I'll stop here, actually. This will be my last. My last dropship, I promise, and I'll move out with this. I can finally send that SCV back to mine. Scan their base just because I can. See, look, spider mines. Yeah, they're not even doing anything. They just... That's one thing about
Input
vanilla
coordinates.
StarCraft, is they don't usually have too many units.
Hang on, we're in for some chop.
Jacked up and good to go.
Can I take your
Go,
order?
go, go.
Yeah, perfect, that's 8. 8 more Marines.
Destination?
11 full dropships, submarines, and vultures.
Input coordinates. Strap your
Firebats really aren't too useful.
input coordinates.
which is why I decided not to build them.
Buckle up. In transit, HQ.
Reporting in.
Input.
So what we need to do is move the dropships here, and move the Wraiths here. The Wraiths just need to provide adequate cover fire. I'm gonna dropship bomb that command center.
Roger. Sector locked in. Coordinates received.
Yeah, see those Goliaths are, they want me.
Your forces are under attack.
Those Goliaths want me. An attack, don't care about that. Oh, don't evade all my mines. That's no fun.
Coordinates. I got that.
Reporting in.
No. Hit my Wraiths instead.
Locked in.
I got that.
Your forces are under attack.
Isn't this so nice?
Buckle up.
You know, I always hated dropship missions because dropping in StarCraft 1 was always such a pain in the butt.
Commander, rock and roll.
Now we just A-move our way to victory. Make sure I actually click on empty space here.
Hang on. We're in for some jobs.
Your forces
I don't really
are
care
under
about
attack.
macroing back at home because what are they gonna do? They're really not gonna do too much. Even if I lose a lot of units to mines, I have so much here that I can just completely crush them. And this is really all you have to do to get a fairly long way in StarCraft is just know how to build stuff. I have more stuff than my opponent, so I can just send him in. And they have no chance.
Standing by. Commander, rock and roll.
Wow, I actually did spend a long time on this mission, holy crap. I probably could have moved out a lot earlier. But I kind of got engrossed in just babbling about random shit and macroing a lot of units. Yeah, see, we're still at 143 supply. It ain't no thing. Also, this is the worst base ever. Like, look at that. It's so inefficient. Anyway, that concludes this episode. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.